Hi there guys, I'm Nikhil from GreedyTech, and in this video I'll be showing you the most important tips and tricks for your Samsung Galaxy A80. By the way guys, I'll also be making a dedicated video for the best features where I'll be showing you all the features offered by this phone, so definitely check out that video, link will be in the description. Now with that said, first I want to start off with the most highlighting feature about this phone, that would be this flip camera. So there you go, that's the flip camera, and as this phone uses the same cameras for both the front and rear, it gives us a lot of cool features. So let's first look at the rear camera features. By default, it opens the 48 megapixel primary camera, and if you click over here, it switches to the wide angle camera. Now you also have pinch to zoom gesture, and when you do a pinch to zoom gesture from wide angle camera, it switches to the primary camera. And when you do it once again, it zooms in normally. Now when you're using the primary camera, you can do a pinch out gesture to switch to the wide angle camera. This is a neat little shortcut. Now if you go to video recording, we can record video using the primary camera, even with the wide angle camera as well. And you also have something called super steady mode. You can enable it, and once you enable it, you will get an incredibly stable footage. Here's a quick sample. So guys, now I'm recording this video by turning on the super steady mode. So now you can check out the stabilization offered in this mode when compared to the previous videos. Once again, audio is from the phone itself. I'm just walking around, so check out the stabilization and noise cancellation. Now if you go to the right side, you also have something called live focus video. Now this is just like portrait mode but for video recording. So now in this mode we can record video with a background blur effect, and you can also change the amount of background blur effect you want before you start recording the video using the slider over here. And once you're done, just start video recording and you'll get a nice blur effect. It is in real time, and even though it's not perfect, it's pretty good. So that's live focus video recording for the rear camera. Next we have super slow motion, and finally hyperlapse. Now on the left side we have live focus mode. Now this is rear camera portrait mode, and on this phone once again we can change the amount of background blur effect you want before taking a picture, and even after taking a picture you can change the amount of background blur effect you want. So this is a portrait shot taken with the rear camera, and you can change the blur intensity from here, and there we go. And you also get all these cool different options, and I would suggest you to try them out yourself, or else check out my best features video where I'll be giving you a quick demonstration. Now let's switch to the front camera. So there we go, that's the front camera, and let's start off with the default mode. Now in the default section you have three toggles over here. So the first one is the crop mode. Now this here is the 48 megapixel camera, and it is pretty wide to begin with, but selfies aren't usually that wide. So by default it gives you a cropped view. So this is the cropped view, and if you want a completely wide picture or a wide selfie, then you can switch to the second mode. Now finally, if you switch to the third mode, you can take a selfie with that wide angle camera, and as you can see, it is super wide. Now unlike most phones which have a dedicated front camera, as this phone uses the same 48 megapixel rear camera, you're gonna get pretty good selfies, and even the front camera video recording is gonna be great. Now for the front camera video recording, by default we can only record video using the primary 48 megapixel camera, but we also have the super steady mode, and once you enable it, it switches to the wide angle camera and stabilizes the footage even further. So if you're someone who likes to record a lot of video from the front camera or likes to vlog, then this is gonna be really incredible. Next we also have live focus video. So this is once again live focus video for the front camera, where it uses the time of flight camera to give a background blur effect. And even before you start video recording, you can change the amount of background blur effect using this slider. So this is a pretty unique feature, and I guess this is the only phone that offers you this feature. Next, for some reason they even give hyperlapse for us, which is pretty useless for front camera. Next we have live focus mode for selfies, that's portrait selfies, and once again before taking a picture, you can actually change the amount of background blur effect you want. And once again, even after you take a picture, you can change the amount of background blur effect you want. Now here's a portrait selfie, and we can change the amount of background blur effect even after taking a picture. So that's pretty cool as well. Now going back to the rear camera, we have a toggle over here. This is for scene optimization. That's AI mode for rear camera. And as you can see, when I put a plant in the frame, Scene Optimizer had detected a plant, and it's going to optimize the image for plants. So this is Scene Optimizer, and if you want to enable it, you just need to make it blue. And if you want to disable it, click on it and it'll get disabled. So this is the Scene Optimizer, and if you want to disable it, you can just touch on it to disable it. Next, I'm going to show you different shooting methods. Now on this phone, you can just press the volume buttons to take a picture. You can either press the volume down or power button to take a picture. Now for some reason, if that's not working for you, you need to go to settings, then select shooting methods and make sure this option is set to the right option. And you can also use the volume buttons to zoom in and zoom out. Next we have voice control. Once you enable this feature, you can take pictures by just saying shoot, capture, cheese, record video. So you can do crazy stuff like that with just voice commands. Next we have a floating button. So to enable that, let's go to shooting methods once again, and we have the toggle over here. Once you enable it, you'll get a floating button on the screen. So here's that floating button. So now you can take a picture by clicking this floating button as well. This is going to be great for taking selfies, so just do that to take a selfie. Next we have a palm gesture. So to enable that, go to settings and enable it from shooting methods. This is the palm gesture, show palm, and just show your palm to your front camera and your phone takes up selfie in 3 seconds. So there we go once again. So that's a selfie. Once again, it's going to be great for selfies. Now for some quick shortcuts, you can move around this floating button anywhere and you can swipe it to the bottom near the actual shutter button to hide it. You can also do a swipe up gesture from the shutter button to pull up the floating button. Next, you can do a swipe down and swipe up gesture to switch between the front camera and rear camera, where the camera simply flips. Now going on next, I'm going to show you my favorite feature on this phone. That would be the dedicated night mode. So I've already enabled it and this is how the night mode looks like. Now I'm going to disable it from the toggles. So this is how your phone's going to look right out of the box. This is the phone dialer application. This is the settings, notification area. So this is the default theme. Now once you enable the dark mode or the night mode, this is how your phone's going to look. Because of the AMOLED display, first of all, blacks are completely black and it looks pretty cool. It helps you save some battery, and if you're someone who uses your phone a lot at night, it's going to put less strain on your eyes. So it's really a win-win situation. Next, I'm going to show you how you can use split screen mode on this phone. Now on previous Samsung phones, you can just press and hold the recent apps button and the current application will open in the split screen mode. But as you have seen, it no longer works. So to open split screen mode, this is what you can do. First go to the recent apps page and click on this icon and then select open a split screen view. Once you do that, that application will open up in the top window and then you can select the secondary application from the list over here, or else you can go to the home screen and then select it from the app drawer. So for now, I'm just going to open settings and we can also resize it in this way. Now there are still applications that do not support split screen mode. So if you want to change that or want to use all applications in split screen mode, this is what you need to do. First go to settings, then select about phone, then select software information. Now click on the bill number 7 times. Once you do that and enter your password, developer options will be enabled. Now go back a step and you can find developer options in settings. Now scroll all the way to the bottom and enable force activities to be resizable. Once you do that and restart your phone, you will be able to use all applications in split screen mode. This is something I would definitely recommend you to do. Next, I'm going to show you PopUp View. Now you have seen split screen mode where we can use 2 applications at the same time. But on this phone, we also have something called PopUp View, where we can open any application in a pop-up window. So to do that, once again go to the recent apps page, then click this option, then select open in pop-up view. Once you do that, that application will open up in this floating window. You can resize it. You can minimize it by clicking this button over here where it turns into a floating button. You can click it to expand. You can click this third option to maximize it to full screen application. And finally, you can click the fourth option to close it. And here we go. So that's PopUp View. Next, I'm going to show you how you can enable gestures on this phone. For that, go to settings, then select display settings. Now select navigation bar and we have full screen gestures. Now once you enable it, navigation bar is completely hidden and you get these 3 bars. Now instead of clicking the buttons, you need to swipe up from the bottom to perform an action. So if you want to go back a step, you need to swipe from the right side and you go back a step. If you want to go home, swipe from the center. And if you want recent tabs, swipe from the left side. And if you want Google Assistant, just swipe and hold and Google Assistant get triggered. So guys, those were the full screen gestures, and as this phone is so huge, it's better to use them with the gestures. Personally, I like Xiaomi's and Android Q based gestures, but so far this is the only thing that's available, so it's better to stick with them. Next, I'm going to show you some handy shortcuts related to your home screen. So this is your default launcher, and by default, whenever you do a swipe up or a swipe down gesture, it opens the app drawer. But if you go to settings by doing a ping gesture and enable this toggle, quick open notification panel, once you enable that toggle, you can do a swipe down gesture to pull down the notification bar. You can do it once again to check out the toggles. So now I can do a swipe up gesture to go to the app drawer, and I can do a swipe down gesture to pull down the notification bar. Now going on next, these are your notification toggles, and once you minimize them, these are called quick toggles. Now if you want to rearrange them, or if you want some other toggle to be placed at the top, you can rearrange them by doing this. Just press that button, then select button order. Now if you want to move any of these toggle, just long press on the toggle and bring it to the top, and it changes the position. I usually prefer to have torch at the front and also auto rotate because I switch it a lot. And once I click done, this is the new toggle layout. Next, we also have something called quick settings. Now these are all your toggles, and if you want to change your Wi-Fi network or change your Bluetooth device, normally you have to go to settings, then select connections, and then select Wi-Fi. But instead of doing all that, we can change it directly from notification area. So here's the Wi-Fi toggle. Now click on the Wi-Fi name, and now you get some extra options. Now we also have similar quick settings for many other toggles as well, for Bluetooth as well. And finally, with torch, we get something new. So once you enable the torch, normally on all phones, simply flash gets turned on. But on this phone, we can also change the intensity of the flash using the slider. Now I'm going to make the flash more brighter. I guess you can see it now. So we can change the intensity of the torch on this phone, and once you're done, just disable it. Next, if you want to hide any application from your app drawer, this is what you can do. Once again, go to settings, then select hide apps, and select the apps that you want to hide. For now, I'm just going to hide these two applications, and once I press apply, now those applications will be hidden in this app drawer. Now if you install any third-party launcher, say like Nova Launcher, those applications can still be seen. So that's a con for this feature. Next, I'm going to show you how you can change your autofill service. So whenever you try to log into any application, you get a prompt for saved passwords, but that doesn't work on this phone. So to change that, you need to go to settings, then search for autofill, and then select autofill service and change it from here. We get two options, Google and Samsung Pass. Well, both are good, but all my passwords are saved on Google. So I'll switch to Google. Now I'll show you how to turn on always on display. For that, go to settings, then select lock screen. Now select always on display. Now enable this feature and select display mode and set it to show always. Once you do that, when you lock your phone, you can see the always on display. Now if you don't like this particular style, you can change it from the lock screen settings once again. Just go to lock screen settings, then select lock style and select always on display. And these are the different lock styles that we have. So I'm just going to change it to something a bit more colorful. So this looks pretty good. And this is your new clock style. So there we go. Now if you want to see the fingerprint location, just touch the screen once and you can see the fingerprint location. Now place your finger to unlock the phone. Now even that doesn't work right out of the box. So to show the fingerprint location, this is what you need to do. Go to settings, then select biometric and security, then select fingerprint, enter your password, and now make sure you enable this particular toggle. Once you do that, you can see the fingerprints location on the lock screen once you touch the screen. Next, if you want to take a screenshot on this phone, this is what you can do. Just press the volume down and power button both at the same time and your phone will take a screenshot. Now if that's a bit hard for you, we also have a gesture. Just swipe your palm left to right or right to left to take a screenshot. Now this feature should work right out of the box. But for some reason, if it's not working, go to settings, then select advanced features, then select motions and gestures, and make sure this particular toggle is enabled. If it is enabled, you can take a screenshot by swiping on the screen. Next, we can also take a long screenshot on this phone. Let's say if you want to take a long screenshot of this entire page, this is what you can do. First, take a regular screenshot. You can either use the buttons or the gesture. Once you do that, you get this pop-up view. Now click this button here to take a long screenshot. Just click it again and again to get a much longer screenshot. Once you're done, just leave it there, and this is your long screenshot. Now on this phone, every time you take a screenshot, you should see this pop-up view. Now for some reason, if it's not visible, make sure you go to settings, then select advanced features and make sure smart capture is enabled. If this feature is not available or if this feature is disabled, you will not see the bar at the bottom. If it is enabled, you can see the bar at the bottom like that. So that's the smart capture. Now I'm going to show you how to record calls automatically on your phone. For that, open the phone dialer. Now click this button here, go to settings, then select record calls. Now once you enable this toggle, all the calls will be recorded automatically on your phone. Now this feature is available in India but might not be available in other countries. So if you can't find this feature, try to use some third-party application. Next, I'm going to show you how you can change your default browser, default launcher, and so on. So for that, first you need to go to settings, then select apps. Now select this button, click default apps. Now from this page, you can change your default browser to something like Google Chrome or UC browser. You can also change your default phone dialer, default messaging application, and finally even your launcher. So you can do that from here. Next, if you want to display the battery percentage on the status bar, like on my phone, this is what you need to do. Go to settings, then select notifications, then select status bar and enable this toggle. Once you do that, you can see the battery percentage on the status bar. So guys, for the final tip, I'm going to show you how you can increase the standby time of your phone drastically. Now this phone has a massive battery and battery life on this phone is pretty good. But let's say you have just 5 to 10% of battery left and you don't want your phone to switch off. So in this situation, enable max power saving mode. So to do that, go to the notification toggles and click on power mode and enable maximum power saving. Once you do that, screen brightness goes down, all the applications will be stopped in the background and you'll be given access to only 8 applications. You can still use Wi-Fi and mobile data, but your phone's standby time will increase a lot. First 4 applications are fixed, but you can add 4 more applications. You can even add apps like Instagram, WhatsApp and YouTube as well. You can even take pictures in this mode. So in this mode, you can still use your favorite applications and have a much better battery life. Now to quit this mode, you need to click this button and select turn off maximum power saving mode. So guys, these are the most important tips and tricks for your Samsung Galaxy A80. If I missed out on anything important, do let me know by commenting below this video and definitely check out my video on best features. Link will be in the description. By the way guys, if you're planning to buy this phone, use the link in the description. It always helps the channel. If you have any questions or want us to make any specific video, tweet out to us with the hashtag AskGreedyTech on Twitter and we will try to make it as soon as possible. I'm Nikhil from GreedyTech signing off. Have a nice day.